And so there is, are you able to estimate what what the warming level would be if uh, governments and corporations involved in the energy sector are able to fulfill their wildest dreams and essentially extract and burn all the fossil fuels that they have plans for? How much will the Earth warm?
So the carbon budget, as they call it, for 2 degrees is around 1,100 gigatons from now onwards, and the carbon embodied in all current estimates of fossil fuels is around 3,000 gigatons. So that's around 3 times. And if all of that's emitted completely unsequestered, then it's likely that we'll be heading towards around a 4 degrees warming by the end of the century. It's important to note, however, that 4 degrees assumes that there's none of these positive feedback loops, which people often talk about. Once you reach a certain temperature rise, it's increasingly likely that you might hit a trigger point, which means that you get completely runaway climate change, and you're not able to keep the temperatures to a reasonable level.
Right. So as it gets warmer, things that we couldn't necessarily predict beforehand could trigger even more warming, which is the whole concept of this runaway climate change. So it's one thing to say that if we burn all our reserves and keep extracting as we're extracting, that we won't survive as a species. It's another thing for this projection to actually be taken seriously by the powers that be. Later this year, there's going to be a major climate conference the United Nations is holding in Paris. And I'm wondering what the odds are that your study will actually be taken seriously. You've provided very specific numbers for very specific industries and very specific countries. Do you hope that your study will actually be used?
But what we hope is that it can feed into the conversation that they are likely to have in Paris. You would anticipate that countries which are going to have to leave a lot of their fossil fuels in the ground are going to have to be compensated for that. And that is an important aspect to consider whenever the policymakers are talking about keeping the temperature rise to 2 degrees. So indeed, hopefully they will take this study seriously and they will dwell on it.